Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of EEPower. So I just finished a mining run, managed to get, for some reason, a bunch of creosote bottles, and also a bunch of ores that I'm going to, wow, I have no room whatsoever here. I mean, I just go in and it's like, herp-a-derp-a-derp, I just finished the mining, and then it's like, nope, you're not going to be able to place anything away because we're just not going to allow you to do that. Can't let you do that, Star Fox, so guess I'm going to get very cozy with my chest here, and I don't really have to worry about, okay, is it shift? Okay, that did put away my ores, and I do have some other things that I'm probably going to need to find a way to get rid of. So, through my haul, I found basically all the Thaumcraft shards, some more gold stuff, some sulfur. I think we're going to have to eventually get into the using of sulfur. Wow. Anyway, sulfur is used for sulfur dioxide, which I think is used. However, I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably just being a complete dunce on all of my stuff. Heck, sulfur dioxide doesn't seem like it has a use. Anyways, I'm gonna sort everything, put my miner's backpack away, make sure that I have everything. Then we can move onwards to bigger and better things. Yep, be right back. Now, there are a few processes that I'd like to automate. Now, to start, let's basically say this. I have an enrichment chamber, I have crusher, and I have a purification chamber. All of those are well and good. Now, what I need to do with those is send purification chamber to crusher, to enrichment chamber, to final post-production, which is the furnace, which I could, if I wanted to, I could have it send over there, though that might be a little too much considering. I don't know. Let's move these so that we don't have to empty them. You mean me wrenching them like this didn't keep that part of the inventory? Bloody hell. Ugh. That just made things a little bit annoying. So, thankfully this does get them out of the way. Anyway, so what we're going to want to do is this gives 3 ore fragments. I'd like to say ore fragments. So whenever I say ore fragments, it'll mean that it's part of the ore and it needs to be continued to be processed. Yes. So what I want to do is process these ore fragments, and this produces 3 per operation. However, the crusher and the enrichment chamber both produce only 1 per operation. Now, there's a few ways to do this that'll make it, well, work. One is we can, for every 1 purification chamber, we can have 3 crushers, 3 enrichment chambers, and 3 furnace. That one sucks ass so much that I'm surprised that it's even able to stand. Option 2 is that we can use something in Mechanism called factories. So factory blocks are basically basic factories that can process multiple things at the same time for more energy. So you can see that there's a factory for crushing, compressing, combining, purifying, injecting, smelting, and enriching. So we're going to want basically all of them. Well, the ones that we are able to do. Let's see. All it requires, though, is 4 redstone in the corner, 2 iron, 2 circuits, and the requisite machine. So there, and there. And then we can just throw on everything on the ground because we're done. I want it so that we have the furnace there, we can have the enriching, the crushing, and then this machine can go over here, and that'll basically be a line of everything. Now we're going to have to make sure we put everything. Actually, I want the enriching. What do I want? Do I want the furnace here? I already forgot the order. Yes. So here we go. We have our nice crushing machine and enriching machine. And this is the redstone control that's disabled. Auto sort will basically allow it so that it spreads across the entire thing. needing 28 RF a tick, and this has 0. And the energy bar is full, energy bar is full. Okay, and then we're going to need to get our furnace here, which means we're going to actually need to make an energized smelter, which needs steel and osmium. Do we have steel and osmium? We do not have either currently, which is going to lead us into our next thing. However, we are a little far from that, so let's just make 5 steel. That'll just tide us over for our awesomeness. Now, I am filling this oxygen tank at a reasonable speed. It is flickering, unfortunately, so that might be producing a bit of lag because it's unnecessarily sending me a bunch of block updates. And having a bunch of block updates to the clients, depending on how they code it, may not be the best thing in general. No, I wouldn't say so. At least we have a bunch of electrical steel and conductive iron, which I think we'll use to expand our capacitor banks when we're done later. Okay, got that done. You know what? Be right back. Warning, warning, warning. Blue slime boss alert. Beware. You have to be careful because the wild blue slime has appeared and has decided to take away the top part of your bar, and I'm getting attacked, and that actually made me jump. Okay, where is the... Well, that's one way to introduce a boss. By drowning. Is that actually? Like, are you drowning down there? Hi, slime. Where are you? Whoa, you are a big sucker. I don't think you're it. You can't be. It's a bit anticlimactic if you are indeed it. No, that said blue slime is currently losing a lot of health. That is just confusing the heck out of me. I mean, I'd figure that if it was king slime, it must be drowning. There's no other way. I mean, how would it just be floating? Yeah, it's probably drowning. And it's gonna be dead in 3, 2, 1. No death message. Okay. Let's actually get back to our work. Assuming that, oh gosh, we're gonna have to go through the creeper course. And I gotta get out of this bloody water. Stop it. I said stop it. I said, oh god, oh god. I should be a maze runner. It's like amazing, and that wasn't even a joke. I mean, come on, you'd think you'd be able to come up with better things under stress when there's a bunch of creatures that may or may not be coming for you. Anyway, so we got our steel. That is pretty much all we needed in that regards. And now we're going to need to make the basic factory, which is going to be one of these. And then, because of the shift-clicking awesomeness, we won't be able to get anything like that. Okay, that's one, and then we need to double down, basically. Not that type of double down. I mean, like KFC with a bunch of chicken, and then it's gonna be Kentucky-esque. Ick? Yes, let's go with that. Okay, so we got our furnace, crusher, enrichment chamber, sorry, and crusher here. And we also have our purification chamber, which we're going to have to unplug and place here. So now we have to do our configuration. So we want our blue to push out to our right. So each time, blue... Wait. Yeah, blue is going to be the one we want pushing to our... out there. Okay, and we'll auto-eject. So I think we'll want to probably turn these off or something. Or it doesn't really matter. Probably matters. Oh, we need red input. Good. And output will have blue, and this will auto-eject. Blue, red, eject out, blue. And this one, final, will want red, obviously, here. And we'll also want it to eject up. Now, one thing is that it seems that we're going to need to change the input from off to on. Let's see, strict input. Strict input is probably meaning that it'll only accept things that it can actually process. And then we'll have blue, and red, I suppose, will have the input, and we'll output blue. Okay. So one way to test this would be to actually grab a bit of ore. So what I think I'm going to do is grab gold, since I think that's probably the best thing. I don't know what you're talking about. What they are talking about, though, is a bunch of baddies. Whoa! Spiders. You think I would have dealt with you enough? Ah! Why am I getting potion effects on them? Like, when I hit them, I was getting potion effects on them. Like, is there some sort of thing where when you hit a spider, it casts slowness on them? Oh, I have Bane of Arthropods. Oh my god! That was not expected at all, actually. At least it didn't blow up my house. Though it did make a floating tree. Great. Gonna have to fix that, aren't I? Probably. Let's not really worry about that right now. We have things to do. Look at me still talking when there's science to do. Okay, so... if you don't get that reference, I am ashamed of you, and I'm surprised you're even watching this. What were we doing? Ah, yes, we were going to get a bit of ore because we wanted to test our system. So I think we'll just grab some of this. I don't think uranium, or I don't think another one bites the dust actually does mechanism. It'd be cool if they did. So we're going to need to grab our oxygen. There we go. If we check, that's going to fill up. And then we'll throw this in here. So now it's full of oxygen. So if we throw one of these in, let's do 4. We can see it start the process, and then it should automatically eject. Good. And now we should auto-sort it, each of them. So that's working away. And now it's going forward. And I put the sound at like 10% of what it was. This is enriching. I made the wrong machine. Great. Perfect. Let's get that sorted. Just making sure. Energize smelter. Okay, good. Want to make sure I don't derp up again. Okay, place, auto sorts, configuration, we'll have it red, strict input, yes. Auto eject, we'll have it so that it auto ejects our blue. And we have our gold dust here, so theoretically we can just put like 8 of them in there, then it'll just start all really processing. Now this brings us to another thing. The metallurgic infuser is frankly a pain in the butt to get any sort of usefulness out of. I mean, it's a slow machine, and especially with steel, it becomes really annoying to operate. Now, am I able to just lower the master volume? Yes, thankfully. I guess I'll do that for now. And I guess I might as well throw all this in, even though it's... Okay, that is working. Now, there's 2 things that I want to do next. One is to route these items so that they end up over there. Because, hey, why not? And 2 is I want to control the metallurgic infusers a bit better. So what I think I'm going to do is go to Ender IO again, and we're going to make a painting machine. So that's going to require basically just a basic capacitor. Thankfully, we do have our copper and everything else. You know what? I'll just put you there. And what are we going to need? We're going to need copper, gold, and we're going to need a diamond, 2 quartz. Diamond is here. Diamonds is my best friend. And then we're going to want to make this. So, I don't think I actually have this. In fact, we're going to make 2 of these with 1 spare nugget. Mundane ring, probably not something we want to use. We'll get our thermal foundation finally out of there. And we'll just basically have that extra capacitor for some other time. 10, we don't have. 4 of them. Good. And then we'll throw them in our crafting, and then we will need to have one of these, which we don't have for some odd reason, because I definitely have metal bars going around the entire state of California. I don't know. It's not like I planned what I'm saying in advance. You know what I'm saying? No? Yeah, me neither. Okay, so painting machine. This has a lot of RF. Now, painting machines are basically used to hide conduits. What we need is to get conduit binder, and if we put it in a ring, we will get a conduit facade. And we need a lot of conduit binders, so we're going to have to shape up. Let's see, bind. If we can go with that, we might be able to find some more binding agents somewhere, because we're going to need a lot of this blaze stuff. We're going to need to make more of that, aren't we? Okay, recipe of this, we're going to need binding composite, which is gravel, sand, and clay. Clay, it seems like we're at a bit of a, well, it's a bit of a premium, that's for sure. Though we do have our sand, and we do have a bit of gravel. Recipe, that, 16, and since this smelts into a whole lot, we're not going to have to worry about it too much. We're also going to need to get a target block, which I'll tell you what that's about in a second. So we'll get a target block, and basically this is the thing we're going to paint. So we take our conduit facade and put it in here. So painting in the painting machine, right click on the conduit to place, hidden when a wrench or a conduit is equipped. So then we take this thing, after hiding those, and it's going to paint these. Let's see, how long does this take? It doesn't take too long. So as you can see, this is painted with stone bricks. And if we were to say, right click on this, you can place it, and now it's stone bricks. And we can still mouse over to see that it's stone bricks. However, if we hold a wrench in our hand, we can see and manipulate the conduits that are within. So let's make a few facades. We're probably going to need to make a whole whack of them. There we go. And they're not the cheapest, only because they don't feel cheap. And I find that probably the only reason they don't feel that cheap is the fact that I have to make them with 8 of something. So let's grab this. And you can probably guess where I'm going with this already. We have this thing here. We're going to just take this out of the action. Now, can I place them without having to? Get out of the way. I can. Let's place those there then. We're going to need a few more, unfortunately. But basically, just given enough time, we'll be able to route into the rest of the network. I don't really want to route into this, though. Are we able to... I want to see. Can we have it so that we disconnect? Good, we can. I just don't want to have to deal with this. I want it to be a completely different subnetwork. Rather, I want this to be a subnetwork and don't want anything else basically interfering with it. So just right-clicking out there. I always find how nice these things are. And there we go. And let's just wait for our facades, or we can just probably... All we need to do is route into here. And there. Okay. There. Let's get our facades. Facade things up. Then I think we should be good, assuming we actually have enough facades. It doesn't look like we do. Do we have any more conduit binder? No, we do not. We already ran out of conduit binder. Great. I suppose we don't really need to have these covered up. However, it will be nice to do so later on. So if I just basically have... let's get this out of the way so I can manipulate this first. So force extract, and we'll want to extract everything and send it to our main storage, which is our green. And if we check, everything will get extracted. quickly enough, actually. And it should all end up in our nice little chest over here. Good, we got our all of our gold. Bleh. Speaking words, difficult. Bleh. Okay, and then pretty much what we're going to need to do is figure out a way to hook in. We could probably hook in our ores directly over here. What is this set to? This is basically set to pull in all of our ores and then auto smelt them. So what we could do, I don't think ferrous, if we check the use for ferrous, I don't think we can directly link to this. Oh, we can! Another one bites the dust does work. Duh, duh, duh. And another one bites dust. So, what we're going to do is set the insert to basically light gray because we want that disabled. Hopefully nothing is in there. Good. And then we'll route our brown into here. In out, we'll want to insert brown. We won't want any sort of extraction, so we'll just want pure insert of brown. Connect there. Then all we need to do is, since that is also set so that it's force input, so nothing will basically bleed into the system, all that we need to do is, for instance, take some of our iron and some of our lead and silver, if we want to process, throw it in this chest, and throw it in that chest. Then it should end up in our system over here. Wow. I didn't actually expect it to go that well. Well, it's a pretty simple system. I mean, all we're doing is feeding it in a line and then going like this. We're not having it expandable such that we can have basically a bunch of other machines. However, I think this is quite good for a quick and easy system. All that we need to do really is get pressurized tubing to go over here, from here rather, so that we can directly feed our oxygen, because right now you can see that we can only do about 250 ores. Only 250 ores. Well, if we want to get a quarry up, that won't be enough. And one final check I want to do on this system is the power draw that it's doing. It's significant enough that it is a bit of a draw. So I think we'll go for 2 capacitor banks. Now, what do the capacitor banks use again? Capacitor banks, basically some of this, some of this. We need a bunch of those, so we'll need some of that. Do we have any copper on us? No, we don't, of course, because that require preparation. We're going to need 16 of these. Do we have enough? Let's just get a bunch of that. And blah, whatever. We'll just manually do that. That's not enough. We're on to basically a full stack. Capacitor banks. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll want to double these up. And then we'll need to use redstone for fun and profit, by the way. Can't forget the profit. Then we need to slather the entire concoction with tin. And basically this is so that we will be able to have a bit more power. There and there. Now our maximum power is 15 million RF. However, we are still draining. But we won't be for long because it can only go for so long. Okay, I think that's great. Let's see if we can start our next thing. I must say, I'm using pretty much all the real estate I can in this room. I mean, good God. How much do I need? We need quite a bit more, that's for sure. So, what I want to do is make a steel production. Because, quite frankly, having this minimalistic amount of steel is quite infuriating. Anyways, so we have metallurgic infuser here, and we have one here too. I'm thinking I don't want to have them as general purpose machines, however, have them such that I can basically pump in a bunch of crud into them and get away with it. I'll get you next time, gadget. And it decided to lag on me just because I said that. It's no fun. I tell you real good. So, speaking about no fun, we're going to have to go into the no fun and figure out what we need. We need an enrichment chamber, and I'm thinking, whatever, it's not much added effect, money. We can just have an enrichment chamber here for all of our coal that we're going to need. So we're going to need power, and we're also going to need to get our other stuff. So we want coal to go into here, and we'll have it configured such that output, sure, and input, auto eject will be on, blue. So our coal, compressed coal will go here, which is going to be a sub-network, which will send coal here. So the carbon, the raw carbon stuff will go here, and I think I might as well give myself a doorway because getting out of here eventually might be a good plan. Yes, it will be. Okay, so have this, insert, that'll be good. We'll also want the phone to not randomly go off because, dang, those are really annoying. And we're also finally going to want insertion here, but we're going to need coal. So how are we going to make our raw fun coal, or rather get it? We're going to need, once again, a filter of some sort. So that's going to be pretty much just some of this and hopper. And 4 pieces of paper. And actually, now that I think of it, I think charcoal is good enough to be able to compress into carbon. Let's check the recipe for compressed carbon. We can see that charcoal is indeed good enough for us. So if we put charcoal anywhere in our system, we'll be able to have this thing suck it all up. Dang, Ender IO conduits are cool. However, we're going to need to have it so that we have it. Okay, where are you? Nope. Dang it, gotta run to the tree farm in the rain. Or maybe not. Apparently so. I think I have enough. Probably do. I might be wrong on this. I might need to double check the amount that I have. However, this is probably going to be enough. Match metadata. So all we need to do is throw a bunch of charcoal into one of our chests up here, the master chest. The master chest! And then we can basically have it send stuff once we actually have the lineup. Now that I think that we don't, and we're going to need to probably repaint one of our conduits. Let's see. Won't be able to get conduit, are we? Let's see. Can we remove you without destroying it? Like, no? Oh, yes, we can. Oh, no, we can't. I mean, come on. Are you gonna pull a Houdini on me? Where'd you go? Did you decide to take a nice stroll outside? Silly conduit. Magic's only for warlocks of the highest nature. Come back here. There you are. You thought you could get away from me. You were wrong. You were so wrong. Then we're gonna have to wait 10 minutes, 10 seconds for you, aren't we? Paint, paint. Take your time, take your time. I have no time. And then, thankfully, since this isn't a connected texture block, we don't have to worry too much about it. So let's go here. Hook that in. There we go. And we can also get rid of that also at the same time. Now we can see that we got our stuff compressing into compressed carbon. Now we're going to actually need to insert this into our lightish blue. This is the black, right? What blue size is that? Is that purple? Is that like a purple color? I guess that's purple. So have it so that it's purple. Insert purple. Strict input. You don't seem to be working. Could have sworn you're supposed to be working. Output. Yeah, that's output. Good. You managed to get that right. Blue. I'm just gonna might as well put this in auto eject. Eject. Do we not have power or something? Oh, we don't even have any power. That might help. Though that shouldn't cause any problem for actually sending the stuff. I mean, this is set to insert. And this is set to extract without redstone. Okay, good. Now it's good. And then we can do that. That. And now we're going to need to configure everything else. Okay, what is that set to? That's set to needing a bit more. Maybe you can send this to Red Robin mode. And we might be able to see stuff here in a minute. Good, okay, so now we can actually do our system. We're going to want our iron to go into here. And then we'll end up with our stuff coming out here. So we'll have it such that this will be an extraction. And I think I might just use a hopper on you. I mean, just putting a hopper with all the iron that I want. And I don't think we actually have an auto insert. However, whatever. So blue, we'll want it set at that. Blue, guess we can't really disable everything else. That's good. And it should auto eject such that when I put iron in here, and after a while, dum de dum de dum 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 da da ba da 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 da, it should send it. Eventually. Assuming I actually have the size configured here, though. Red. There we go. And then we'll want the blue to be auto-eject. And we'll output blue. So going. Good! So now we have our steel dust going through. And all we need to do is set our steel dust to auto-smelt. Since, honestly, I don't see any reason to not have this auto-smelted. There we go. Now everything is auto-smelting. Using these smelters, we're getting power, although at a slowish rate. And we can have it such that we automatically pump in some iron. Now, I'm not sure if with just Ender IO and the things I've tried before, we can have it such that we send only till we have like 5 stacks of steel. We might be able to have it just fill a drum and stop there, though that might be a little excessive. However, what's not excessive is just turning that off. There we go. And dumping a bunch of iron in there so it can work its bloody head off. But in the end, I think that's good. So we can probably tidy up this room with a bit of stone. And then we're golden. How many offshoots am I going to be able to do? Now, eventually, I'm going to want to go into that other room. However, I like being space efficient because when I tried other seasons, or rather other playing in the server, I found that I was too spread out, so I never got to things like this. But considering we're making steel, I think we're good. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of EEPower. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe after filling a bunch of holes because they are so ugly. I can't believe I managed to keep them like that. Probably a bunch of people screaming at me while I speak, which is kind of rude for them, by them, because, you know, I'm talking here. WayofTime here. Signing off. Have a wonderful day. Yeah, I think that's wrong.